How can I breathe without you here by my side? Nope, I cannot sing, but I can do a show. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition, the special edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. Coming at you as I love to do at the very least 3 days a week over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, I take a moment to thank and show gratitude to my subscribers and followers and listeners who listen to me and support me. I am on vacation, but it doesn't mean that I wasn't going to tape a show and to provide you with the level of content that you have come to expect, even when I'm away. Even when I'm away. And that's exactly what I've done today. Before I say anything else, again, the gratitude is extreme. Thank you so much. Without you, there would be no me. So just want to thank you for that. Not just to my followers on YouTube, over the digital airways of YouTube, but of course, iHeartRadio. Thank you so much with all of these millions of downloads that y'all have been giving me. I appreciate the love so much, so much. By the way, to continue to like and follow the show, just click the bell and you too shall be the latest member of the Stephen A. Smith Show family, accessible to all of our new content. And while you're doing that, make sure to pick up a copy of my New York Times best-selling memoir, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes, now in paperback. Just go to straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. Once again, that's straightshooterbook.com to get yourself a copy. From what I'm hearing, it's a highly motivational and inspirational book that all of you should get your hands on around the Christmas holidays. I mean, this is what they tell me. I mean, I wrote the damn thing. I also did the audio book. So I know it's inspirational and motivational, but I didn't want to say that myself. I wanted to leave that to y'all to deduce on your own. Anyway, this particular show, while I'm on vacation, I'm one of those guys that, you know what, sports is my background, that's my wheelhouse, but it doesn't mean that I don't know a thing or two about politics. It doesn't mean I don't know a thing or two about pop culture and entertainment. It certainly doesn't mean that I don't know a thing or two about some of the artists out there. And I've been very, very interested in talking to a guest of mine today. And it's not my nephew, who'll be on later on in the show, answering questions on relationships, believe it or not, from people. I don't know what the hell possessed me to do such a thing, but I said, hell with it, I'm gonna try it because he's been bugging me and bugging me and bugging me, you understand? And I wanted to give him an opportunity to show his ignorance yet again. And he did not let me down in that department. You'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what I'm talking about. But he won't be on before my guest, who is an accomplished individual, earned 2 Billboard Music Awards, a Grammy nomination, has been doing music for years. I know a lot of people don't think they've heard from him for years, but his music will speak for itself. You'll know exactly who I'm talking about when I mention his name. There's a lot of things that artists bring to the equation. So many times we look at comedians, for example, and we're so gratified and thankful that they find a way to relieve us of stress and tension and misery because they find a way to make us laugh when nobody else can. Well, there's another powerful element that lives out there, and we've known it since the days we were born, and that's the power of music. When you're listening to a song or a particular artist and their voice and what they bring to the table and how it just soothes you, and it makes you a bit introspective and appreciative of all that you have and all that you aim to and aspire to achieve. You can't say enough about the impact that music can have on any of our lives. So anytime I have an opportunity to interview a music artist, it's something that I want to take advantage of. And I definitely did that with this episode. His name is Mario. He's got a holiday film coming out, Style Me for Christmas. I already told you about some of his accomplishments in the music industry. He's also an actor. And guess what? He's up next right here on the Stephen A. Smith Show. So don't go away. Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for Stephen A. Sports Picks. Let's be real, y'all. If there's one thing that is obvious to everybody, is that I love sports. I report on it. I debate it and enjoy watching it. It's my passion. Always has been, always will be. That's right. And that's why I've teamed up with PrizePicks to bring you my favorite sports pick each and every single week. PrizePicks, the largest fantasy sports platform in all of the land with over 3 million members. With PrizePicks, you just simply choose 2, 3, or even up to 6 of your favorite players and then choose more or less on their projected stats for the game or contest. And get this, now with PrizePicks, 1,000-time lineup payout promotion. You have the ability to win up to 1,000 times your money. It requires careful strategy, sharp picks, and a 6-pick lineup. But that is the highest payout ever at PrizePicks. And the good news doesn't stop there, because if you sign up now and use code SAS, PrizePicks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus, you know. It's guaranteed. Just play a $5 lineup on PrizePicks and you'll get $50 instantly. Now, let's see my winning picks. Today, I'll be making picks for this Thursday's NFL matchup, the Los Angeles Rams against the San Francisco 49ers. First up, Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford, more or less than 249.5 passing yards. Matthew Stafford's a bad brother. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp are no joke. Sean McVay is no joke calling plays. And again, Matthew Stafford's a bad brother. And I don't like the way San Francisco has looked for the most part this year. I'm going with more on this one. More than 249.5 passing yards for Matthew Stafford. Next up, Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua. More or less than 84.5 receiving yards. He's a bad brother, and he's got Matthew Stafford throwing him the football. So obviously the answer to this question is going to be more. Just look at what I said, okay? It's very, very simple. Next up, let's go to the next one, please. 49ers signal caller Brock Purdy facing the Los Angeles Rams secondary. More or less than 239.5 passing yards. See, I'm not one of those people that looks at 239.5 passing yards as some big, big day. You throw for over 300 yards, over 350 yards, that's a big day. 239.5 passing yards with Deebo Samuel, George Kittle in the lineup. You should be able to pull that off, Brock Purdy. I think you will. I'm going with more on this one. And finally, San Francisco receiver Deebo Samuel, more or less than 43.5 yards receiving. It's Deebo, y'all. I got mad love and respect for him. I know that 49ers have been a shell of themselves. Christian McCaffrey has been hurt for the most part this year. Brandon Ayuk went down for the season. Obviously, you bit off more than you could chew because you've been knocking on the door for a Super Bowl the last 5 years. You've been in 4 conference championship games, 2 Super Bowls, and you haven't walked away with 1 Super Bowl championship. So I get it. The slippage was evident. It was inevitable, okay? But that don't mean that applies to Deebo Samuel. This is a bad brother. He can play. 43.5 yards receiving, that is more than, that is not as much as you would expect, okay? He should be able to do that. I'm going to go with more. So let's recap right here. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Brock Purdy, Deebo Samuel. What's the common denominator here? More, 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 more. We like that, especially at PrizePicks, because when we hear more, we think more money. And who's got a problem with that? My next guest is a singer, songwriter, and actor, known for the hit songs like How Do I Breathe Again and Let Me Love You, which earned 2 Billboard Music Awards and a Grammy nomination. After a 6-year hiatus from music, he's back with a new album and a holiday film. Please welcome the one and only Mario to the Stephen A. Smith Show. What's going on, big time? How are you, man? How's everything?
Good afternoon, my brother. Things are great, man. It's good to see you, even though we're on screens, man. It's good to see you. Always feel your energy. You always got that high energy.
You know it. You know it.
I'm saying, going crazy out here.
I gotta ask you a question because I know you know your sports a little bit before I get into you and what you're doing. You a Baltimore Ravens fan?
I am, man.
What the hell's been going on?
When I first came out, my first jersey was a Ray Lewis 52 jersey in the Just the Firm video. I haven't been watching lately.
Okay.
So don't go too crazy. But yeah,
I'm not holding you accountable for that. You know, I'll leave the sports analysis to me. But I'm just saying, I'm thinking about Lamar Jackson. I'm thinking about Derrick Henry, and I'm thinking about the fact that he was supposed to be making some noise. They got 5 losses on the season thus far.
I know.
I'm like, are you worried that they're gonna bow out early yet again?
You know what? Listen, you can never put it past Lamar, man. And guys, sometimes he pops out and shows up when you least expect it. Just give it some time. We got a couple more to go, and I feel like he gonna pour through, man. Even watching the game the other day against Philly, and in the last inning he poured up, close to what? We almost got that touchdown.
Yeah, you almost. But the bottom line is, Philadelphia outplayed y'all that day. They should have given Derrick Henry a little bit more. All you got to do is give him the ball about 25 times. I think you'll be all right. You give Derrick Henry the ball about 25 times. It ain't that damn complicated. But let me get to you, man, because get into your holiday film, Style Me for Christmas, streaming now on BET+. Tell me about that role and what inspired you to do it.
Yeah, I played Teddy Maxwell. Not too far departure from what I do in music, but he's a guy who is passionate about his art, but he's finding it hard to find his space and love. And Tiffany, Raven Goodwin plays a character by the name of Tiffany, who just inherited this boutique from her late mother. So she's having a tough time transitioning into that ownership. And while that's happening, my manager goes into her store to find a suit for me and ends up seeing her as a girl who could change my perspective of love. So there's this love story that's happening unbeknownst to Tiffany in the movie, and then me struggling with my infidelity issues and just like being an artist and trying to find love in that. We end up having this story together that kind of shows both sides of, love loss with, acquiring her acquiring this business while at the same time trying to be, my stylist. But it's all challenging for her, and my challenges are going on. So it's just, you see a story of both sides coming together and meshing and trying to make it make sense. And in the end, it's all about purpose and connection and love. I think it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful Christmas story, different from your typical Christmas story, but I think people are enjoying it.
Well,
we get a lot of love from it so far.
Obviously, you can act and what have you, but everybody pretty much knows you primarily for your singing. What inspired you to do the acting thing?
I think acting is a way for me to express myself through different mediums and escape from the selfish world of being an artist. I can control my surroundings. I can control, my stage show. I can control, this is my world, right? But when in acting, it's a more collaborative, it's more community involved. So, I mean, it really just teaches you to, be able to stretch yourself in different ways creatively, which also helps musically and helps with working as a team, right? Also, just the imagination, right? When I was a kid growing up in Baltimore, I had to use my imagination to escape the harsh realities of what I was growing up in. So, acting, I think, is something that kind of comes at the hand of just having a more expanded mind and just, exploring different parts of your creativity.
Man, I ain't no damn actor, but I act on the soap opera General Hospital. People tell me I'm pretty damn good, but I got to tell you something. I don't view myself as an actor, but I'm going to tell you what I've grown to love about it and why I'm going to take it far more seriously in the future. I love the idea that I can be whatever the role commands. That's what I've learned to appreciate about it. It's like, wait a minute, what if I wanted to be a villain? What if I wanted to be corrupt? What if I wanted to be a killer? I can get away with it.
Yeah, and what's crazy about getting those types of opportunities is that you don't even realize that there's certain parts in your life where you can actually pull that from, where you may have felt like the villain, right? But if you think about heroes and villains, they kind of like the same person a little bit. But just in different forms, right? So, I feel like acting, there's always a space that you don't tap into in your everyday life that we, a lot of times we escape from certain things that we experience or we've been holding on to. Acting allows you to explore those different things. So it teaches you a lot about mental health as well. It's so many different avenues to it.
6 years, bro. I mean, on the rise, doing your thing, very, very talented, well respected, the whole nine. And then you step away for 6 years. Why?
I never stepped away from music. I think that as an artist, the way we look at time, like I'm always free. I'm in my studio now. Matter of fact, I was working on something earlier today. As an artist, I speak for myself. As an artist, I look at time completely differently, so I don't feel the 6 years because during that time I'm still creating. During that time I have the forevision of seeing what the next 2-3 years ahead is going to look like, right? So when you create, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I'm already like accustomed and kind of like wired to think like that. So for people who or fans, I put an album out during the pandemic. A lot of people don't count projects that came out during the pandemic because it was such a different type of release. But Glad You Came, what you're looking at right now, my new album comes out December 13th. This mentally has been in the making for a long time. But me and James Fauntleroy, who executive produced this, talked a while ago about working, and the timing just worked out, man. And I feel like we made a project that's very imaginative, it's very confident, it's very sexy, it's very classic. It preserves the art form of R&B. It's inspired by so many different types of music that I grew up listening to. The first single, Space, is more jazzy and R&B. That's a homage to my grandfather who played jazz and drank liquor. You know what I'm saying? But then when you get into the album and you listen to it, it goes from this nostalgic feeling to more of this contemporary, fresh vibe. So you're really getting like a full spectrum of who Mario is as a creative. Vocally, I think I've showed growth on all of my projects.
Hell yes, you have. Hell yes, you have.
Yeah.
No doubt about that. You got my support on that one. I'll co-sign on that one. But I will say this to you. Despite the fact that you were still on your grind, still working, still creating, and what have you, When you look at artists today, one of the things that I'm skeptical about, certainly not with you, certainly not those who are established, but cats who are aspiring to get in the business, to get where you
Yeah.
are, a lot of times they're thinking about the creative freedoms that come with it. I'd like you to
Right.
speak to the work and the commitment and the discipline your
Yeah.
craft requires, because I don't hear enough people talking about that, but I know you have to have that in order to be as
Oh, man.
successful as you've been.
I think it's just like anything else, Stephen, where you you got to decide at what level you want to play on. And based on that level is how you govern, your input and your discipline and your patience and your resilience within the process, because that's what's going to determine, like, making something that's classic and timeless versus just something that's just for right now. And I think it also, all of it matters as you build your appetite and your strength, of being not only the artist but also the businessman, because or woman, because you have to understand the business side of it in order to be a good partner, especially when you're dealing with a label like Sony. And
Right.
I partnered with Sony to do this project with New Citizen, which is my label. So all of it matters. I think the hardest part of it would probably be choosing, out of the hundreds of songs you might make, choosing which records really is going to be a part of this portal and this capsule that you're creating. When it comes to creating an album, singles, you can kind of like test the market and just throw singles on and do this and this and that. But when you're making an album, you want to make something that has some type of purpose behind it. We're glad you came. It was like this all-encompassing invitation to this new era of me as an artist and this new era of R&B.
Is this your first project with Epic Records?
This is my first album, yeah.
Right, your first album, your second,
Yeah, yep,
but this is your first album with Epic Records. The music
Yeah.
industry has changed, obviously, with streaming. How do you
Yeah.
believe you've evolved along with it? And who did you work with on the album?
So me and James Fauntleroy pretty much wrote a lot of the album. The production on the album is like friends of mine that I've been making music with over the last few years. And the evolution of me is from both the business side of it and the creative side, and just kind of merging the two. For example, when releasing the album, like, I'm on calls now about different campaigns, digital campaigns, the manufactured content versus the very organic content that I
Right.
put out. There's just so many different, aspects of getting the word out and pulling people into the process. There's a timeline of engagement, as you get into the album, and then you get into the touring conversation, and you get into the meet and greets, and you get into all these things as different levels. And what I love about Glad You Came and what we're talking about is again, is the invitation to the journey of all of it, and like bringing it full circle. And also talking directly to women. I feel like there's not a lot of music that speaks to women in a very direct way. And I feel like even though my songs are metaphoric, it's very direct at the same time. Like when I came out with Just a Friend or Break My Head, was very direct to what I'm stating in the record. The call and answer of it all, the crying out for me, the vulnerability, the confidence, all of that in one space.
In my line of work, my attitude is I'm talking about television. I'm talking about, for sports, it's male. But for the most part, if you want to be successful, I always say this about Madison Avenue, just metaphorically. You got to have the support of women. If you don't have the support of women, you ain't pulling it off. I mean, the ladies got to help you. The ladies got to help you out. Do you feel that gives you a decisive edge? Because clearly, there's a lot of women. I listen to music. There's a lot of women that got love for you. I mean, that goes a long way.
For sure, man. And I feel like women that are often neglected when it comes to music, certain parts of them are neglected. I feel like women are forgiving and adaptable, and they invite you to be who you are. And like, as a man, they like seeing every different side of us. You got people who are just like, make music that's grungier and just like, talking, different to women. Then you got music that is, ambiguous. And then you got music that's direct and like very much so geared towards women, like Glad You Came. This record is specifically about a woman, the first line of the song is, "I listen to what you say, girl. I'm watching what you do." You know, I'm not the type of man to leave you with your hands out asking if it felt good. I finished what I started. You know, so it's really much, it's very much so geared towards talking directly to women from a man perspective. And if you're a guy and you know, are into what I'm into, you know, you gonna enjoy it too. You know, and yeah, man, you know, we definitely not neglecting women on this one. It's all about y'all.
Don't ever do that.
You're gonna be
If
glad you
it's
came and even more glad you stayed.
Glad you came. And by the way, that's dropping December 13th. So let's make sure we remind the audience of that. Your top three R&B artists of all time would be who?
Woo.
That's why I'm putting you on the spot. That's why I'm asking. Because you would know. I mean, you would know. Crazy. Your opinion matters.
Yeah. My top three R&B solo artists or groups or what?
Give me both. Separated. Okay. Give me top three solo artists, top three groups.
I'm gonna start with top three groups. Boyz II Men.
Okay.
Number one.
All right.
For me, because they did both straight R&B records, R&B pop, Christmas record. Like they can do anything. They did anything. Jodeci and LS. Damn, that's hard. All right, I'm gonna say next. Next.
So, okay.
That's the
Jodeci and next. Boyz II Men, Jodeci and next.
Yeah. That's just what came to the top of my mind. So then we're gonna go to solo artists.
Okay.
Crazy. Joe.
Okay. I like that one. I'm
gonna go Joe. I'm gonna go musically only. I'm gonna have to go RK.
I was getting ready to say it. Don't be ashamed. He in jail now. Listen, that don't mean we can't. That don't mean we can't give him props for his music now.
On God, RK, and then I'm gonna go. Wow.
You got two really good ones though.
Joe, RK, and then just for like, in terms of like urban R&B that like I'm gonna have to go Usher. Yeah.
Usher.
I'm gonna go Joe, RK. Right. I'm gonna go Usher. You know, I feel like he's the closest artist to like, I would say that I grew up listening to.
Okay.
When I was like in my early teens, that was doing what I aspire to do now. So, or continue to aspire to do. So yeah, I would say that. Okay. But as far as like, there's so many, man. There's so many artists, bro.
Give me the three females.
Three R&B. Females. Okay.
Let's not leave them out because you care about the females.
You
care about the females, right? That's right. That's what we just been talking about. Give me the top three females.
I'm gonna go Beyonce.
Yes. We agree. I'm
gonna go Beyonce. I'm gonna go.
Take your time. Because you got to get this right.
I'm trying to, because I'm thinking of like when I was like coming up, like what was I listening to that was like, okay, they was representing for the, I'm gonna go B, I'm gonna go Keisha Cole.
All right. What about Mary J?
I'm gonna go definitely, yeah. Yes. Mary. All right, no, I'm gonna go B, Mary J.
Okay,
that was a good one.
That's right.
For sure.
Mary J. Okay.
We about to go on a tour together.
That's right. I was getting ready. I was going there next, but go ahead.
And then, yeah, man, I'm gonna say Keisha.
Keisha.
Yeah.
Keisha Cole.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Keisha some love, man. You know, I feel like she deserve it. Like for she like a young Mary, like, you feel me? Like energy, yeah.
Before I get into you and Mary J. Blige, I gotta ask you this as an aside. You remember, I don't know if you saw the episode of my show when I got into it with Tank. Tank spotted me. I was at Prime 112 in Miami, right?
I heard about it, but tell me what.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's my man. I love Tank, man. And I was leaving, and the next thing you know, he stopped me. We were talking for a while. Him and his boys were hanging together. And then he said to me, you do understand that the greatest artist, pop artist. I said, Michael Jackson. What are you talking about? He said, Chris Brown. I said to him, Chris Brown is all world, the greatest performer right now. I got it, but there's only one Michael Jackson, man.
I think this is the thing, man. We live in, that's a completely different generation of music intention, like what Michael was facing back then. Like there was so much going on in his life, but when it comes to we're talking about today, man. We're talking about kids who don't remember Michael
Right.
in that prime, right? Chris is that for them.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That explosiveness, the performance,
Yeah. He's
you know,
something
the
special.
energy he comes with on stage, like that's not something that everybody. It takes a tremendous amount of hard work and dedication and love and passion for the art to do what he does in his space. You know, yeah, there's nobody like him, you know, in his space. I personally would not compare Mike and CB because when I listen to Michael had a completely different time and zone. Like his music was live, he had strings and live this and
Right.
there was so many other things going on in his concepts of his music and what he was talking about and his voice and everything. He's in a lane of his own to me, right?
Right.
I'm inspired by Mike too. So, you know, I'm really inspired by his voice. Like Mike, if you take Michael, Marvin, Stevie, and Joe and
Yep.
put them together, you get Mario vocally,
Feel
in
you.
my opinion.
Feel you.
If you listen to all of my music, right? So I'm inspired by Mike too, like a lot of things. But yeah, I think CB is like the greatest of in his lane and what he does. He's no one's is touching him and what he does.
Greatest dance I've ever
For
seen.
sure,
I give him that. Greatest
one
dance I've
thousand
ever seen.
percent,
By the way,
one thousand
let
percent.
me get to the year 2025. That's because that's going to start off right for you. Tell me about this
Yes,
tour
sir.
you're embarking on with Mary J. Blige and
Yeah,
Ne-Yo. You're the opening act out here.
yeah. So this tour, like my set is gonna be geared towards "Glad You Came" and obviously the classics, right? But I'm giving very much so intimate performance and inviting people to get to know me on a different level than they have from a vocal standpoint and from a storytelling standpoint on stage. But yeah, that night in itself, I think it's gonna be you're gonna dance, you're gonna sing, you're gonna cry, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna you're gonna feel the essence of R&B in so many different spaces. Because all of us do something completely different. So I think it's gonna be a beautiful night, and tickets are available now, obviously. But yeah, I can't wait to perform these songs and classics for y'all on the stage and
Right.
just reconnect with y'all again.
Man, I'm proud of you, man. Keep doing your thing, man. It's just good. As far as I'm concerned, big things are just getting started for you. You already have big things going on, but you're going to
Yes, sir.
transcend on an elevated level. All the best to you. Always here for you. Anything you need, feel free to holler, man. You take care of yourself, all right?
Appreciate you, Steven.
No doubt.
Glad you came. December 13th. I
Damn
cannot
right.
wait to see y'all on the road. I'll lay out.
Thanks again to the phenomenal one himself, the one and only Mario. I'm kind of feeling bad for him and his Baltimore Ravens. I don't think they're going to do what a lot of us expected them to do this year. Because I'm looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs ain't going nowhere with Patrick Mahomes. And I'm saying what Baltimore going to do? You understand? When their defense is usually horrid, their offense can do but only so much. And then when the defense shows up, the offense doesn't show up. They can't seem to get it together. They can't seem to get it together. But that's a personal problem because I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and they'll figure out a way to get over it. I got to get over some things. And I'm glad that I had Mario on here because he set the tone. And my staff here asked me, he said there was a lot of people out there clamoring for some reason to call into the show to ask me, moi, for relationship advice. And I was looking forward to doing it. I was actually excited about doing it. I really, really was. I'm like, look at me in my suit. I'm looking all good and all of this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll give the advice, sure. And then my nephew strolled around. And he said, yo, I'm here. You know, why would you do this segment without me? You understand what I'm saying? You old. You understand what I'm saying? You're in your 60s. I'm actually 57, but he always says I'm in the 60s. Always throws that extra shade, extra dust on my birth certificate. That's what he does with his sorry ass self, okay? But in the end, it's like this. He said, let me do this. The weekend's over. The new week is here. You're going to be on vacation, so you need some semblance of you to be involved in all of this, to sort of jumpstart the holiday season. This is what he said. He's not telling the truth. It's not accurate, but that's his perception. And you know how people say all the time, can't tell me how to feel. Can't tell me how to feel. That's how I feel. That's what he was saying. So he insisted on being in on the segment. And I said, bump it. Why not? So I taped the segment with my nephew, taking calls about relationships. And after listening to him, I had to be talked out of not deleting the whole damn segment, because that's how ignorant his ass sounded. I am not responsible for the words that come out of his mouth. I am his uncle. I've tried to set a better example. Clearly, I have a lot more work to do. I really, really do. But I'm gonna let y'all hear him anyway, because it means a lot to him to get some camera time. So I'm gonna give it to him, much to my potential detriment. Yours truly, with my nephew Josh, in a minute. I don't even want to tell y'all his last name, but it ain't hard to figure it out. It's my nephew, right? He's up next with relationship calls. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me. Back with more of the Stephen A. Smith Show in a minute. Listen up, y'all. I have an important announcement you need to know about. Here at the Stephen A. Smith Show, we're here to win. And that's why we've partnered with PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy app to help turn all your big-time sports knowledge into some big-time cash. You see, with PrizePicks, you choose 2, 3, or even up to 6 of your favorite players and then choose more or less on their projected stats for the game or contest. You like Josh Allen? Pick him. You like Cooper Kupp? Pick him too. You think Jaylen Brown's gonna go off? Then pick all 3. It only takes 60 seconds to make your picks, you know. And because it's December, that means it is now Picksimus as PrizePicks. So stay on the lookout this holiday season for free picks, discounts, and free lineups all month long. Like this week's Patrick Mahomes free pick. That's right. Jump into the PrizePicks board and find a Patrick Mahomes 0.5 passing yards projection for the Chiefs' December 15th clash against the Cleveland Browns. The free pick is live now, and the 0.5 yard projection will be available until kickoff in the Chiefs game on December 15th. And get this, sign up with code SAS, and PrizePicks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on PrizePicks, and you'll get $50 instantly. PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's really that easy. Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. This is my, my segment where I'm taking, calls for people about relationships. And since he was already here in studio with me, my nephew Josh right here, okay? He's supposed to get off the air, all right? But his crazy ass said, nah, I want to stay. I want to stay. Can I, before we even get to the calls, can I have my shades?
These aren't yours.
You stole them.
Yo, can you stop? We are rich. You're not gonna be missing a pair of shades and not buy another pair. Be rich. All right? We got a contract coming up. We gonna sign it.
We gonna sign it. We gonna sign it.
My last name's Smith too. So you gotta sign half my name, technically. You have to sign half my name.
Let's go to the calls. Let's go to the calls. These are relationship calls. Ladies and gentlemen, people calling me for relationships. I apologize for whatever this crazy ass nephew of mine is gonna say, but I'm letting him stay in on the segment. I will answer your calls seriously. I don't know what the hell he's gonna say, but we gonna listen. All right, Josh, this is Anitra. This is a female. This is Anitra in St. Louis, Missouri. You're live with Stephen A. Anitra, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Stephen A?
How you doing? I appreciate you calling. Go ahead. I'm here for you. I'm here for you this holiday season. What's up?
Okay, so I have a quick question. What are your thoughts on someone in a relationship or marriage having the opposite sex as a friend or best friend?
Anitra, do you mind? I got my little knuckleheaded nephew sitting next to me right now. He's in his 30s. He thinks he knows everything, but since he's here, do you mind him participating in this segment with me and answer? I'm going to answer your question, but I'm going to let him answer first. Is that all right with you? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Josh, go ahead. How would you answer that question?
It depends on how the friend looks. If you know that your man likes women that are in shape, then if he has a big friend, then that's a friend. If it's a girl that's in shape, it's only a matter of time. If you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. My nephew put it in a very crass kind of way, Anitra. Let me break this down to you, okay?
Okay.
He's for the most part, my nephew's actually right from this standpoint. Speaking as a man, if you are friends with somebody you find attractive, if you in the friend zone, it's usually because of her. It ain't because of you. Because if you had your druthers, you gonna want to get with her because she fine. Now, if you're not attracted to her at all, you understand? then that's a different matter altogether. If it's intermediate attraction, all right, that's cool too. But if you're not attracted to her at all, you don't have to worry about it. Like my boy Pooley. Pooley, you remember that movie Norbit? Remember the movie Norbit and Nitra? Remember Rasputia?
Yeah.
So me being friends with somebody like that,
That could be the friend.
she's safe. It ain't nothing to worry about.
That's the bestie.
But if you're fine, and here's a key point here. If you've never been with her, because if you've never been with her, then curiosity kills the cat. So you're gonna always be curious because you've never been with her, so there's going to be an insatiable appetite for you to get with her. You're gonna have that. Now, flip it. If it's a girl and a dude is attractive, well, women are different. Y'all have your proclivities, y'all have your desires and all of that stuff, that's true. But in the same breath, how happy are you in your relationship? If you happy with your man, then even if you find somebody else attractive, you happy with who you have, so you good. But he on thin ice. Because the second he make you unhappy, you gonna notice the friend even more that you find attractive. And because of that,
So do you trust,
it could be
do
problematic.
you trust that, Sidney?
Say what?
Do you trust like your person having like a man as a best friend? Do you trust that?
Hell no.
Or
Trust no woman.
Okay.
I wouldn't trust no woman of mine having a dude as a best friend, particularly if he's attractive and he's now mind you, you knew who you knew before I came along. So I'm not gonna
Right.
police your friendships. But what I'm going to
Right.
say is that, again, if you're around the brother, if you're still communicating with the brother, that ain't an accident. You communicate with him and you staying in touch with him because in case of emergency, open glass. Now, that may not be literally correct, but a lot of men think like that. And because they think like that, they always have that sixth sense. And by having that sixth sense, there's a level of trust that they're lacking, which means suspicion elevates, which means any little thing you do could cause a problem, which means the relationship is going to be on thin ice. Am I right about that? Josh?
You right. Are you the friend with a friend?
See,
Anitra?
no, so I'm not the friend with the friend. No, I'm like the person that's dating him, and then he's like, oh, I got a best friend, and we've been friends for. So
okay,
like,
stop right there, Anitra. How do you think that friend of your man looks?
I don't know. I never.
You don't know.
seen her
You never-
before.
you never
I-
seen her?
You never met her?
No, I don't think she ugly. No, I've never like met her. No,
You never met her.
no.
You don't sound very convincing, Anitra.
Yes.
Right? You
Yes.
I
sound,
know. That's why I said that.
you don't sound very convincing, Anitra. You sound like you got your suspicions, and if you haven't met her, and that's your man, he keeping you distant from her for a reason.
Exactly.
Think about
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Just raise your antennas.
Okay.
That don't mean he's guilty, but it means to elevate
Okay.
to raise your antennas.
Well,
right?
she sounds extra okay with it, like she got
She's
her
not.
own
She
friend.
don't sound extra okay with it. Thank you, Anitra. Thanks, sir. She don't sound extra okay with it. You take care, Anitra. Thank you. Let's go to Troy in Toronto, Canada, a beautiful city, by the way. What's up, Troy? How are you?
Hey, I'm great, man. Just finished listening to First Take in podcast form, daily ritual. You know how we do.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much, man. You here? I'm sitting here with my knuckleheaded nephew who's sitting in the studio with me thinking he's God's gift to women and relationships and all of that other stuff. He's listening on the call with you right now as well. What's on your mind, Troy? Talk to me.
Okay, so after a long year, a lonely year, after some past transgressions, I was single, but I'm currently working on fixing things with my ex, and was wondering what are some ways to, now that she's moving back, spice things up and make sure I never lose her again.
Okay, so you're saying she's moving back, meaning she's moving back to live with you?
Yes, sir.
And when you talked about your transgressions, that means you cheated around, you screwed around with somebody else. Is that correct?
I didn't want to get too far into that.
You don't have
but-
to. You know, I mean, Troy, we don't know who she is. You're Troy from Canada. I'm sure there's other Troys in the whole damn country. I'm just saying, nobody knows your last name or anything like that. But I'm just saying, that's what you did, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
you believe she's a good woman?
A great woman.
Do
The
you
one.
are you very attracted to her?
Yes, sir.
Are
all day.
you stimulated sexually by her?
Yes.
Are you stimulated outside the bedroom by her?
Yes.
My brother, you got a great one, because you talking about letting her move back in. So that means she moved out and she's willing to come back to live with you despite what you did. That's a very big thing. But here's my advice, and I'll lean on my little nephew here. Not leaning on him because I certainly don't need his advice, but I'm gonna listen to what he got to say. But I will say this. Since you were wrong, you do understand she's forgiving you, but she'll never forget.
Oh,
You know that,
100%.
right?
Trust me.
You know that, right? So that means every move you make that creates an eyebrow raise will be hard thinking the worst. You understand that, right?
Yeah, it's happened, and I know I gotta.
Can you deal with that? Can you deal with that?
I've been dealing with it, and I think I will happily deal with it.
Okay.
To fix things.
All right, Josh.
Hey, Troy.
Hey, Josh.
You like the word accountability?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm a fan of reverse accountability. You did what you did because she might have did something. So if you can't like deflect,
Oh my God.
what happened? You're not just guilty. I'm not buying that. I can hear it in your voice. You're a decent guy.
Hold it. You just gonna assume. I can't believe ladies and gentlemen, I'm not responsible for all the thoughts and the things that come out of my nephew's mouth. Are you trying to sit up here and automatically, are you saying that because he cheated, it must have meant that she cheated and that's why he did it?
I'm a supporter of Troy. He's calling us. We ain't speak to her.
All right. Troy, did your girl cheat on you?
Josh, I got love for you, and I appreciate you trying to come and save me, but I'm the only shitty person in this situation.
Oh my God.
See? What you mean, oh my God, what? What you just tell me.
From Canada?
Tell me. Yes, he is.
I already.
Stop. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't stigmatize like that. Here's the point. Josh, he just said it's not him, it's not her, it's him.
It's him, yeah.
He told you that. He said he's the bad guy in all of this. Okay? You're sitting up there and you're like, oh my God, like you're ashamed that he's owning up. But you used the word accountability and you said reverse accountability. No reverse accountability. You're my nephew. How are you acting like this? Or with the cameras rolling? This is embarrassing.
Because I felt like he said what he said because
But you
he
felt
know
like
the cameras is rolling.
But then when he said it was just him, not her, you were disgusted.
Because he did it again.
He
He did it again because he told her, look, I got through to the Stephen A. show and you gonna listen to what I said. Of course he gonna say everything that she wanted.
So you don't believe. So let me ask you a question. What you're saying right now is that you don't believe that his girl didn't cheat.
I'm not saying that because I don't know her. What I'm saying is it's plenty listeners and I'm thinking about the totality and the bigger picture. There's kids watching. They need to know that women can be wrong sometimes too. You just jumping on their side because they be on you in the shade room. You was on there today too.
First of all, I've called out enough women in my day for you to not even come to me with that weak ass argument. That's number one. When I believe what I believe, you know me better than most. You know I don't backstep. Number two, okay, but if they right, they right. Because guess what? Who did you love? Who's the person that you loved most in the world?
Grandma.
Say it louder.
Grandma.
Grandma.
Yeah.
Greatest woman you've ever known.
Yep.
How many times do I say that?
All the time.
How did she raise us? What would she say? What would grandma say to you if you sat up there and said what you just said?
She wouldn't understand either though. Grandma was grandma, but she wouldn't know.
Troy, thanks a lot for the call, man. I can't deal with this right now. Parker in Burlingame. You're live with Stephen A. What's up, Parker?
Hey, Stephen A. First and foremost, I just want to say it's an honor to be speaking with the CEO of Love Enterprise. My question for you is...
CEO of Love Enterprise, is that what you just said? I never thought about it like that. I kind of like that logo.
He's talking to you?
He's talking about me.
Oh.
The CEO of Love Enterprises. I kind of like that. I mean, that kind of word. Forget the Love Doctor. That's smart alarms. But the CEO of Love Enterprises. I mean, I might have to embrace that motto. I might have to do that. But anyway, listen, Parker, you here with my little nephew and myself. He's just sitting here chilling in my studio. So I figure I put him to good use because he don't do shit anyway, so I figure I might as well, I'm listening to the calls, I might as well have him join with me. Go ahead and tell us what's on your mind, Parker. Go ahead.
Yeah, so recently my girlfriend of about 2 years, really like her. I'd rate her about an 8.9 out of 10. I'm about a 7 on a good day. Anyways, we are getting into the fact that we need some foreplay in our lives to spice things up, to make things interesting.
Right.
She is very adamant that the next time that we make love, that I dress up as a firefighter. Now, my options are this, Stephen A. I can either, go about fulfilling her fantasy, no questions asked, but am I to think that when she's making love to me, she's actually wanting to be making love to a local firefighter in my town? Those are the thoughts that I'm having.
Okay.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen.
You can't hang up. Hold on. Don't hang up. Let me tell you why. Just want to make sure I got this correct. You qualify yourself as a 7 on a good day, right?
Yes, on a good
day,
yes.
right? You said she's about an 8.9, right?
I would say so.
And you said that y'all want to spice up your sexual relationship, so as a result, y'all have agreed to engage in some level of foreplay, and for her, she would like you to dress up as a fireman.
Yes.
During foreplay. Well, role play, right? Well, first of all, if you're a fireman or firefighter, what's she want to be?
That's the thing, Stephen A. She just wants to be herself.
So she wants to be herself, but she wants you to be a firefighter.
Exactly.
Okay, second question. You in Cali. How nearby is the fire department from where you live?
Here's the thing, Stephen A. The fire station is just around the block from where she gets her morning coffee every day.
Hold it. The fire station is just around the block from where she gets her coffee every morning?
Yep, Burlingame firefighter.
Oh, shit. Yo, man, there's a firefighter she's feeling.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry. How old are you, bro? How old are you, Parker?
I'm 29.
How old is she?
She is 26.
You said that you're a 7 on a good day. What does she say you are?
Is the nephew doing the math over there? Is this not equating?
No. The nephew's listening. He hears you loud and clear. I'm asking you, if you say you're a 7 on a good day, what does she say you are?
I've been too afraid to ever ask.
You never asked her. You don't have the confidence in yourself to ask her how she thinks you look?
I'm afraid of what the response would be, Stephen A.
And now
I'm scared over here. You guys are scaring me.
And now you brought up the firefighter. Josh?
Well, if you want to know what I think you got to cheat on her just to get your confidence. He got to. And you know it.
No, I don't know that. I don't know that.
You just said she with the firefighter around the corner.
Time out. But that's not going to necessarily boost his confidence.
It's going to make him do what he got to do.
No, it's going to make him more vulnerable to whatever she throws in his direction, because he's going to know he was wrong, which gives her justification for whatever it is that she ends up doing.
And again, the woman wins. What I tell you what to do. Go get you a fire lady or a ticket lady. Get a 6, though. Don't get a 9, because that's why you're not confident, because she look better than you. Look better than your girl.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, let me stop this right there. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, this is my nephew. He does not work for the show. He is not connected to the show. He is paying his uncle a visit, and I decided to put his ignorant ass on camera, and you see why I call him ignorant, right? Because of the nonsensical stuff coming out of his mouth right there. I will say this, though. The last part of his argument, Parker, does provide a good point. Let me say this to you, Parker, in all seriousness, all joking aside.
Okay.
When you lack confidence in yourself, sometimes you take it out on a woman. Because it's not about her, it's about what you know you're not. See, the important part, and I'm not really talking about myself on this level, but let me give you some insight. When I had COVID and I was sick as hell, and I didn't have any kind of definition whatsoever, and I'm walking around with a pot belly and I can't breathe, and I'm overcoming double pneumonia, and I'm doing all of this other stuff, right? Even before then, my confidence wasn't high, because I knew that I wasn't what I was supposed to be, and I couldn't shred the pounds around my midsection. My nephew looking at me, my little niece Tora. Oh, God, Uncle Steve, you got to, oh, my Lord, where'd that belly come from? Stuff like that, right? And I never thought about it, because all you heard was that you're climbing up there in age. This is what happens, and you just got to deal with it, because that's all of us. When I got my health in order and I started being in the gym every day, and I didn't mind taking off my shirt. I didn't mind walking around with a tank top or a tight shirt or whatever the case may be, and I was in shape. My confidence elevated. And at that particular moment, I don't worry about anything because my attitude is whoever don't want me, that's their loss. I'm good because I'm good with me. Has nothing to do with anybody else. But when you're not good with you, you find reasons to be suspicious, Parker, about everybody around you. Because you know you don't have it. You know you don't have it. It's almost like that dude, let me get real with you. It's almost like that dude who can't get the job done in the bedroom. You suspicious about her, when in fact it's because you know you ain't that dude. Because when you with her, you don't feel like you handling your business. And as a result, because you don't feel that way, you're willing to point to her and bring up every excuse under the sun as to why things ain't right, when deep in the crevices of your soul, you know it's you. So that's why my nephew's advice is completely out of whack, off kilter, and ignorant. Because he's not taking into account the fact that you haven't looked at you with an honest eye. You're using her to gloss over your own insecurities about you. Because if you were more secure about you, Parker, you know what you would do? You dare her to step out.
Ooh.
Because you'd be like this, make sure it's worth it. Because I'll be out and I'll have your ass replaced in a heartbeat. See what I'm saying?
I definitely see what you're saying. I appreciate this advice. I'm going to take a long look in the mirror, might pop a blue chew, and I'm going to get to work.
That's right. Get to work. Be all you can be. Listen, all you can be is your best self. You can't be the firefighter. You can't be some actor. You can't be some model. You can't be. All you can be is your best self. But when you know that you have achieved or have come close to achieving your best self, it elevates your confidence and you worry about all of that other stuff significantly less because you believe you're a prize too, instead of focusing on the fact that she's the one closer to a 9 than you. You feel me?
I feel you.
Got you. Take it easy, my brother. Good luck with that,
Thank you
especially
so
over the
much.
holidays.
Thank you
Good
so
luck
much,
with
guys.
that. Good luck with that. And do it fight.
Nephew, I'll talk to you
Trying to firefight an outfit to see how she react. You still benefit for the immediate moment. You still benefit. Try it. Try it. Mickey in Middletown. You're live with Stephen A. Talk to me, Nikki. You're the last call. What's going on, Mickey?
Steve-O, I got a bit of an ethical dilemma for you.
Okay, I'm sitting here with my nephew, my knuckleheaded nephew. You know, he's right here with me, but he think he the love doctor or whatever the case may be. He's not. You understand what I'm saying? What did they call me? The CEO of the love? What was that? What was that? Huh? Huh? The CEO of Love Enterprise. The CEO of Love Enterprise. I like that. We gonna go with that for today. CEO of Love Enterprise. Let's go with it. What's going on, Mickey? Talk to me. What's up? You and me and my nephew.
All right, so here's the story, basically. I decided to get back out there, right? I get on Tinder, the dating site.
Time out, stop right there. You said you decided to get back out there. First of all, how long have you been gone? And secondly, how old are you? Especially since you're on Tinder now.
I've been out for about 4 months.
4 months. How old are you?
I just went through.
How old are you?
I went through a rough breakup. I'm 22.
Okay, rough breakup, age 22. Go ahead. You wet behind the ears, breath smelling like Similac. It's okay. You'll be all right. But go ahead.
Exactly. So I get myself back out there. I go on a date with a nice young lady, and we had a real nice time. Ended the night with a little kiss, and then I'm supposed to be going out with her tonight, but I had another match offer me free Knicks tickets.
Oh, Lord.
So I do some digging, right? And I agreed, forgetting about my previous plans. So now I have 2 dates tonight. And on top of that, they are sorority sisters and friends.
Okay. You want my advice? First of all, let me listen.
What the hell do I do, Steven?
I know what you're going to do, but I'm going to listen to my nephew with his crazy ass give you some advice first. Go ahead, Josh. Go
Well,
ahead.
I have on a Knicks jacket, so that should tell you right there what you should do and where you should be tonight. That's number one. Number two, I have a friend that's on Tinder, and how he pretty much takes over.
Hell?
What happened? He said he's on Tinder. I'm trying to teach him something. Because you're going to need a new Tinder person after tonight. You're choosing the other girl, right? So when you go back on Tinder and you back on the market, read their profiles first to find out what they're looking for, and then you change your profile to that.
Oh my God.
Nikki?
I've never been.
That's interesting.
I've never been. Don't listen to that shit. Please
You on
don't.
Tinder?
That's demon mode. That's demon mode.
Listen,
Steve.
I've heard of it. I've never been on it.
It's
I don't do
relatable.
stuff like
That's
that.
why you got me
I
on
never.
it.
I don't need to. Here's the deal. Okay. First of all, if you're gonna mess with two women that are friends and sorority sisters, understand that you're trash. You don't come back from that. You see what I'm saying? You'll end up missing out on both. That's number one. You don't do that. You have some class. Number two, are you broke? Are you broke? I mean, could you afford to go to a Knicks game?
Yes, I can.
Well, then you don't need to be worried about being invited to a Knicks game, because you can afford to do that on your own. You ain't some pauper that'll never see the Knicks. You don't worry about that, okay? What my nephew should have told you is, who do you like more? The person that you like more is who you should go out with. If you went out on a first date and you were interested in having a second date and you had a kiss from the girl off the first date, right? Then you already got an in. Because not only did she kiss you, but she wants you to come back for another one. Why would you mess that up just to hook up with somebody else, and the only thing they got going for them is that they offered you Knicks tickets?
Only.
Well, your nephew kind of laid out the sales pitch.
Well, the sales pitch, sure, but the point is, that's if you just looking to play. You sitting up there talking about you got your heart broken, you were hurt, you were down and out for 4 months. This is a different animal, Josh. This ain't some dude that's just single and trying to have a good time. This is a dude that was in a relationship, things fell apart, broke his heart, he was down and out for 4 months, he's gotten back up, and so what you're gonna do is, your heart gets broken, ultimately it gets repaired, you're willing to go back out there, why? For the purposes of breaking somebody else's heart? How does that work for you? That's counterproductive. That's counterproductive. You pick one or the other.
So don't go to the Knicks game?
I'm saying you pick one or the other. You don't play with both. And the reason why I say pass on the Knicks game is because he went out with the other girl. Now, if you hadn't gone out with either of them, I'd say pick the Knicks game too. But the fact is, you went out with the other girl first. Yeah. You went out with her, you enjoyed yourself, kissed her goodnight. She wants a second date. You wanted a second date with her, which means you're interested. Why jeopardize that for Knicks tickets?
It's because it might end different after the Knicks game.
Yeah, but the point is, he don't know anything about the girl with the Knicks tickets. All he knows is that she got him free tickets. He knows enough about the first date that he went out with to know that he wants a second date.
Go to the Knicks game, you ask me.
But you only saying that because it's the Knicks.
I'm not. I'm just saying that it can end different. Maybe it's more than a kiss. Kiss you at the beginning of the day.
That's the first date. The first date he went out with, that was their first date. He got a kiss goodnight.
And it ended with a kiss.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. It sound a little incomplete.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen up, Steve.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The heartless side of me wants to do demon mode, like Josh is saying, right? But I feel like I really needed that fatherly advice.
People get hurt all the time. Life mandates that. The question is somebody going to do that to you intentionally? You're talking to a brother right now, been all over national television and lived my life, and I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to be as successful as I am. My high school sweetheart broke up with me, got back together with me, stuck with me for 3 months until I took her to her prom and then dumped me the next morning. And I found out that the only reason that she got back with me was because I was the fool willing to take her to the prom, to pay for her to go to the prom. Let me tell you something. Everybody plays the fool sometimes. That doesn't mean that you intentionally go about the business of trying to hurt other people. Now, people get hurt because you might want something that they don't want or vice versa. But I'm talking intent. You sitting up there talking about you in devilish mode and you ready to wreak havoc and hurt people that are innocent because you've been hurt by somebody that had nothing to do with any of these people. I'm saying that's bad karma, bro. You don't want to do that. Could you at least agree with that, Josh?
Are you saying go to the Knicks game and saying what you just said? 'Cause that's what
I'm saying don't go to the Knicks game.
Nah, we not gonna agree on that one then. Go to that Knicks game. Go to that Knicks game and finish up strong.
Man, I really needed to hear both sides of that. So
Mickey,
I do
good luck.
appreciate it.
Good luck. I'm sorry for exposing you to my nephew. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it
Nah,
for this edition. Take it easy, Mickey. Take it easy, Mickey. Just go, Mickey. Just go and be careful. And try not to break anybody's heart intentionally, all right? That's all I can tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show. I'm very sorry that I had to subject you all to some of the stuff that came out of his mouth. We harbor no responsibility in this whatsoever. He is my nephew. He's my loved one. I love him dearly, but he's a bit loose. He's a bit out there, to say the least.
We fixing relationships today.
You did it.
Yes, we did.
Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Stephen A. signing off. Peace and love.